to round 2, which is very important, of course, because if you miss that cutoff for the roster, you don't get to play in that round. You have to wait until all the way until the final round if that happens.
I think the players out here are just beginning to realize, like, oh, with the new WCS system, I got to join one of these teams that's in Pro League so I get consistent practice. I'm in one of the CASPA houses, so I'm getting that consistent practice as well, just in the team house, and that I could have a better shot at doing well in these individual leagues. So I love that all these players are slowly being shored into these teams. And it's cool to see these big pickups, you know?
It definitely makes the level of Korean play even stronger, even healthier than before. It's no longer about just taking that foreigner money away. Got to stay here in your home region and fight it out with the best of the best, these elite Korean players who have, since the beginning of StarCraft 2, consistently been the best.
I like that you say also it like builds up support for the team, because guys like Hyun, he's going to go in there. He's a fantastic player. He's so skilled. He's gonna make that Jin Air house so much better. Even guys like Patience, who the DreamHack that I casted last year, he was up there at I think he made it to the semifinals. So
top 4.
That's a really big deal there as well. You know, these players definitely have it in them, but they just need to get into these houses and support those teams and get better themselves.
Patience also getting top 4 in Star League just recently. The guy is on fire, a very solid Protoss player. And, you know, these 2 mirror matchups, Maru versus Alive and Patience versus SOS, our next and final match of our regular matchups here. Definitely, you know, the matches I feel it could go either way. They're very close mirror matchups here. And, you know, SOS is pretty dominant in PvP, but he has made some mistakes. Nobody is dominant in PvP as Stats, who did crush Patience in that semis match.
That was gross, man. He really crushed that one, a 4-0 there. SOS is in kind of a weird spot in Pro League because he doesn't have the best record, but when he comes out, he like destroys his opponent with a really cool new build, new style that he's only playing. You know, I forget the PvP that he played, but he made carriers in it on Orbital Shipyard, and it's like, whoa, like what's going on? This guy is way ahead of the meta, but kind of affects him a little bit. He loses some games here and there. Definitely not as dominant as he was the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, definitely so. So, you know, I think this is a big moment for him to defeat Patience, someone who showed his weaknesses in PvP versus Stats just recently. And because StarCraft 2 is a game that isn't patched very often, there's not a lot of balance updates coming in, those games, even though they're very old, are still really relevant here in Protoss versus Protoss. So a lot to study, a lot to look at here for SOS. I got to favor him, you know, just slightly, but still.
The map is Overgrowth, and I remember a specific game where he was playing against Hero. I'm not sure if it was an ace match or a playoffs, but it was a really big game, and you know, obviously 2 of the ace players for both of those teams, Hero for CJ Antis, SOS for Jin Air, and he hit a base in the bottom right corner on Overgrowth. It was insane. Hero never scouted it, so I don't know if we'll see some of that trickery here again today, especially against an opponent that I feel like he may respect a little bit less than Hero at the time, for sure. But you know, we could see some tricky stuff. It's an old map that SOS has played like a million games on.
Yeah,
so
that is very much, in fact, important to note, the experience of SOS on this map. But this could go either way. This is Patience's first Pro League game, okay?
Whoa.
That's important to note. Like, SOS has played 151 of these. Patience never been on a CASPA team. This is going to be his first time, his first opportunity to play in Pro League. Yeah. Think about that. Isn't that crazy? We've had Pro League for 3 seasons now on StarCraft 2. You know, major Pro League seasons in StarCraft 2, not the hybrid that nobody wants to talk about. And we're going into the 4th one here, essentially, and he's never even played a single game.
Yeah, you can see once again, as is the theme of today, very, very even in the predictions. And looks like some problems going on here in the booth for Patience. He's not used to this, that is for sure. I think he actually started the game before we were ready to go. So we'll have to wait and get back in that lobby. It'll take just a minute here, guys. Please be patient with us.
Yeah, we have a special lobby in the Pro League where you guys have that old Brood War style countdown. The chat's there where like one of the players is like, turn the lights down.
Every single time without fail.
That lobby is hosted, and a player is always designated to press start. If you've never been in this lobby before, you might feel like, oh, I just press start, the other person press start, then it starts, but actually that's a very complicated process with production in order to get that set. That's why if you can read Korean, sometimes you see in the chat, so-and-so player, please press start, which is what it will actually trigger the countdown. And then Patience, I think maybe guys familiar with this, press start too soon.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. People make mistakes, and that might affect his mindset coming into this one. You know, we were talking about how he has literally 0 practice in Pro League. He does not have the experience in this booth, so it's a whole new world for Patience, and he's going to have to somehow make it work, even with the rest of the confusion on his mind.
SOS totally calm and collected here. He's done this 151 times, not including playoff matches where he's all killed as well. He has so much experience here. A godlike Protoss player, one of the best in the world. Not as consistent as people would expect from a player who's this much of a beast. The players he's destroyed and killed. SOS is just like this out of control. I don't even know how to describe him. He's like the wild card. You never know what's going to happen versus SOS. He's got so many builds.
The trickster.
He will destroy legends, but he himself individually not as accomplished.
Yeah, SOS, he's like, I want to just get into this game, man. And obviously, Patience a little bit embarrassed, but it's okay.
Yeah, he said it's my first time in the chat. So we made that mistake.
It's all good, Patience. We still love you. So, guys, it looks like these players now loaded up into the lobby. Get ready for game number 4 between Patience and SOS. Down here in the bottom left, in the red for the generic Green Wings, it is SOS.
And up to the top right, in blue, it is Patience, his very first Pro League game.
He is really blue, by the way. He's got the blue headset, the blue earphones, the blue jersey on the Afreeca Freaks. There's blue in the chair. There's Blizzard behind the chair. That's a lot of blue in one booth, man.
Yeah.
And I think he was the right color for this one. I think the Afreeca Freaks are blue. I think Samsung's blue, actually.
Freaks are supposed to be purple.
Yeah.
So this is
that was like the old Startail color, right?
Yeah. This is actually illegal color, but
we have this happen sometimes. It's okay.
It's okay. It's his first time.
Trying to get into that lobby. It's all good.
This is not actually, from what I was told, an official thing. The players or the refs do try to maintain the color consistency. Yeah. It's not one of those things you get a warning from. So
it's not like if you don't make the right color, we have to restart the game because you're not the right color. That would be a little bit too much. So just try to keep it consistent.
Probably nobody noticed. It's
either way, it's like red versus blue. So it's like, I mean, it's fine.
Pretty clear.
Yeah.
So 2-gate opening here for both players. Sneaky probe.
Oh,
I think
SOS.
I think he just wants to get into Patience's head here, make him think. It's the fake proxy pylon. It's the, he doesn't have 3 pylons in his base.
Yeah.
Where's the proxy? Where in reality, he doesn't have one. It's like a Maka pylon. This is the kind of move that will make your opponent freak out and check the whole map for proxies, because you have to. If you don't see 3 pylons in the base, you got to find that 3rd pylon. Just how it is.
Yeah. Both these players opening up 2-gate here. This has become more and more standard the more time we've spent in PvP in Legacy of the Void. Let's see what these players go for. SOS goes for 2 Adepts, but Patience goes for 1 Adept and 1 Sentry, as well as the Mothership Core, which SOS has skipped for now.
Looks like SOS wants to get the faster tech, which will be that Stargate.
SOS saw that game of Zest versus Hush yesterday, and he's like, I can do that. I can make more Phoenixes than my opponent.
That's the way it is, man. You do that, you win the game most of the time. But notice that Patience checks the normal location for where you would hide a pylon to trick, sees that there's nothing there, so he's worried about this. And SOS is also trying to take vision control of these watchtowers away from him. So if I'm Patience right now, I'm starting to get a little bit worried. May even lose a lot of the hit points on this Adept. Not going to lose it. Continuing to scout. It looks like he will find that fake proxy pylon.
See if he does go down there, though. Yeah, I mean, even the Mothership Core going to scout for that old Oracle placement, you know, that old Stargate that you place right below or above your opponent's main. Sees that there's nothing there, so it seems like he is a bit more calm now and collected. He is going to put down that natural Nexus now.
Yep. A little bit of harassed by both players in the mineral line. Faster photon overcharge for SOS. He will secure the kill. And on the other side of the map, Patience just continuing to scout. And I don't think that...
he did scout the Stargate.
Yeah. I don't think Patience knows that SOS still has this Adept in his base.
That's pretty huge. You can sneak a Shade up there and you just keep the Adept in there. You can see a lot of different timings in terms of what tech they're going for. You can get just a huge amount of scouting information here when you're not usually supposed to.
He tried to come up and see that, was instantly denied by the overcharge, will shade out, but does not get the vision of the Robo. It's one of those techs that if you don't see it, it's not that scary, but still wanted to get a little bit more information there. Phoenix is on the map, a better Phoenix count already here for SOS, who will kill a probe here to take that watchtower vision away.
Yeah, this is interesting from Patience. Sometimes, at least in the past, if you did not go your own Stargate, you would always go for Twilight and get Blink, so you could deal with the Phoenixes just by blinking around. But now SOS is going to search the base. He's going to be like, oh, you can't actually keep up with me, and I can just run around your base and get a huge amount of damage done, force stuff like this, more overcharges, more wasted energy, and even collect a couple of probe kills there too.
Patience now adding the Twilight Council. Fairly late, he actually stopped Phoenix suppression as well. I think you're spot on the money with this. It's just impossible to compete when you're behind because of the way that the Phoenix versus Phoenix battles snowball as well. Finding another probe kill, and he has a pylon in position to defend these with the overcharge. He's not using it though. You know, he overcharged the other pylon. I think a bit of nerves coming out of Patience here. But still, he has a solid build. He has his Nexus up a little bit faster. He's catching up in probes, just 1 or 2 probes behind right now. Maybe going to lose a Stalker here, even aggressively bringing these Adepts.
Oh, he's actually not going to get that Stalker. Doesn't lose the Phoenix either. It looks like he may want to come around, but that's so many Stalkers. You can't actually engage in that without a lot more stuff.
Warp Prism on the way as well as that Blink. Warp Prism hard to make work with this many Phoenixes on the map, so he's either going to have to be sneaky with that or maybe he just wants to use it with kind of a timing attack coming up in a little bit. More scouting here for SOS, looking for a pick-off of probes, anything that's nearby. The Warp Prism barely sneaks by, and this is a huge opportunity because it's not something SOS is going to expect with Phoenixes on the map that you would have Warp Prisms around. Yeah. You know, Deer went for DTs just yesterday with the same sort of idea. Like, he was like, oh, you'll never expect a Warp Prism while you have Phoenixes.
Yeah, and especially because the Dark Shrine was not scouted, it was proxied, made that really, really strong. We do have a Dark Shrine coming down here. He's going to hide the Warp Prism in the bottom right corner for now. I wonder if he'll wait until he can make DTs to go for some harass at the third.
Definitely possible. And again, just something that SOS will not expect because he's also repeatedly scouted the main, which gives him more information like, oh, okay, late Twilight Council, very unlikely going to be late Dark Shrines, or rather DTs. A big move out coming across the map with these units towards the third. And he has several Zealots, a few Adepts here, an Immortal and Phoenixes. More Immortals coming up. Looks like he just wants to poke and pressure. He's not going to commit to an all-in here or a timing. Just going to force Patience to be wary and defend.
Yeah, keep him over at his base while he just gets more and more Immortals. I like what SOS has actually done. He forced a bunch of Stalkers and he immediately switched into Immortals. And I think that did just scout that, the DT, the Dark Shrine. No, he scouts it now. He didn't actually scout it with that hallucination, but now he's got an Observer, it looks like, in the back to scout that Dark Shrine.
Yeah, even though he scouted it, though, he doesn't have any cannons up at his third. He has no Observer nearby. I mean, he does see it. I mean, it's totally exposed. No DTs on the map yet either, as I think Patience knows he was scouted. Just going to use these 2 Adepts from that Warp Prism instead. Not finding much, though. Forces the barrier there. I guess that's one small victory.
Yeah, getting about 3 probe kills, and it looks like 1 Dark Templar is going to be warped in here in the bottom right.
Yeah, those Adepts also scouted the
warning
cannons. So I think the idea here is to try to hit before those are ready. Unfortunately, a bit slow on that, so the cannon will be ready by the time they hit.
The slowest DT rush ever. 8 minutes and 15 seconds in. Only now is he going to drop that in, and he's got them in the Warp Prism too. He's going to drop one out.
Phoenix is prepared for this. This Warp Prism is dead if he commits. Though as I say that, the Phoenixes leave. Got one poor Stalker. Got Blink, but he's not going anywhere. Stalker's like, please control me. Please notice me.
Please save me. I can't do it myself. And this is like the latest DT drop of all time. He's still waiting. And that's really cool. I mean, he's just saying, you're never going to expect it at 9 minutes to come in here. Your observers are going to be out of position. I might be able to snipe a cannon.
Well, this cannon here will actually commit to it, but not successful. The Zealots may get it, but there's no DT here. He has a second DT he can run back with if this Warp Prism survives. Phoenix is nearby, but not committing. Oh, the DT actually does survive. My bad.
That's the second DT coming in here, getting a bunch of damage. It looks like 3 probes? Or no, those are actually Patience's probes that went down, but he killed like a couple of Zealots. I mean, this is some damage. I think overall a fail, though.
Yeah, pretty much a fail overall. The Warp Prism does get cleaned up by those Phoenixes after he scouts. Or rather after he sees it. He has one Phoenix follow. The Hallucinate Phoenix follows. Phoenixes come home and kill.
Whoa.
These Blink Stalkers need to get out of here, though. This is a much better army right now for SOS.
SOS wants to fight really badly right now. 5 Archons, 5 Immortals.
He's gonna do
Archons for Patience.
Yeah, and he's going to do a big drop in the main, probably with Adepts or Zealots. His Warp Prism alone has 4 Stalkers back home, which means that the defense is going to be weaker.
There we go. More Warp-ins here on the low ground, and it looks like he may go for the attack. Now, a couple of pylons are being set up, but it's a little bit too late. He can easily burst that down.
With the Mothership Core dropping that Time Warp, he's not really going to commit to going to the third base. Just backs off here, losing a few Zealots in the process, but doesn't need to commit here full on to the front. May actually want to back off, warp in some reinforcements, and either come in for a second attack or hit the third base.
Look at that. 3 more Archons. That's going to be 8 in total for SOS. He's got that +2. He can lift up all of the Immortals in the back as well. He can just go in there with the Phoenixes, force a Stalker fire onto that. All the Stalkers now coming down the ramp. They do join up.
Forcing these units here, trying to funnel them into the third base, engage. He's very heavy on the Zealots versus the Stalkers, so he doesn't have as much range. So he needs to make sure he doesn't actually get funneled into a position where he can't find damage. DT is coming in here for the defensive warpman, but he's still losing probes. 7 already going down. And Patience is being picked apart here. Look at this concave by SOS he set up.
Yep, good luck fighting into that.
He's choking him out while he takes a 4th base himself back at home. 12 workers ahead already.
And he was trying to harass this third base, but as you said, the DT's nice defense there. And Patience knows what's going on. I mean, he doesn't know for sure. He hasn't seen the 4th base, but he's like, okay, I know you're trying to just get me in here and just corner me. And here we go. Looks like SOS finally wants to go for the fight.
It looks like he will. He already picked off 1 Immortal there. Zealots leading the charge up here, tanking the front lines. Immortals are lifted. There's so many Archons here for SOS trying to power through. But with all these ranged Stalkers and Immortals, he's starting to lose a lot of those shields. He backs off before 2 of those Archons who are basically out of health do die. That's a 6 save.
Yeah, looks like he wants to warp in just a bunch more Zealots, more tanking units so that those Archons can get on top of this army. It looks like Patience has the advantage in Immortals. It's 8-6 right now. So that's what's definitely helping him out in this battle.
He's using his barriers very well also. I mean, making sure that he uses them in the most efficient way. But so much splash damage being done. All those Immortals that are stacked up now. I think this will finally be the last straw here for Patience. It's going to break him. And there you have it. GG. He held on as long as he could, but he was whittled down in economy. SOS had the better army for the longest time, and he got funneled into this position where he couldn't engage. Even with more Stalkers, Archons are going to win that fight.
Yeah, SOS giving a little smirk. Very nice straight-up macro play on that very standard map, Overgrowth, coming back into the pool. And SOS shows why he is the better Protoss, and of course the more experienced. So that's going to give the win to Jin Air tonight. It's going to be a 3-1 in total.
Very well done here by Jin Air. You know, with the PvP here and with Patience's first match, maybe they could have forced the ace match, but I don't think they should be upset with this result. Jin Air went to the finals last round. There you have Maru, who's 7-0 now in regular matches. One of their toughest opponents. And I think a lot was learned today. Patience getting that important Pro League experience, which is different than just playing your Star League matches in the booth. And I think a win for both teams. Obviously, Jin Air will walk away with the win on their record.
Yeah. So there you have it. Jin Air playing a really nice overall styler. Let's take a look at the games here. Rogue defeating Keen. Bomber the one upset over Cure. And then Maru takes out Alive. And SOS takes out Patience. So it's a 3-1 there. Guys, there will be no interview tonight. Unfortunately, we have had a pretty long day going to that ace match and having a 3-1 here. But if you have to pick an MVP, who would you have picked?
I'd go with SOS, probably the toughest matchup of the day, even though Patience doesn't have pro league experience, and he was the one to secure the win for them. With this win for Morrow, he will actually tie Zest in the winner's ranking, and that's going to be the only change. No, Rogue also goes up 2 spots with this,
yeah,
and Dark
taking,
actually 5.
Yeah, 2 wins tonight, so he does jump up to tied for 3rd place. And guys, we have so much StarCraft every single day here in Korea. You want to tell your friends, we are actually going to be doing GSL tomorrow and Friday.
So you and I are going to be casting GSL Wednesday, Friday. Saturday we'll be casting the finals of Star League, and then you and I will be back again on Monday for MVP versus CJ and SKT versus Afreeca. So basically we're going to be casting 5 days coming up, including today. And you just did it yesterday, and I did this last weekend. Here's the Storm. So busy caster life, but I love it. Esports is thriving.
Yeah, StarCraft all the time. Our heroes as well for you. 2 fantastic games we got over here in Korea. Well, it was a fun day of matches.
Yeah,
today,
much better than I expected. Looking at the lineups we had, the matchups, both teams that were the underdogs did deliver, and it was a really fun night as a result.
Yeah, so guys, thanks again for joining us. You want to make sure you're watching tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday for more StarCraft action here in Korea. But for me and Wolf tonight, thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.